bro. That man, the GOAT.
How many bangers have Kanye and Jay-Z brought us, man? Like I brought us, man. I wish we had more. Like,
yeah, I don't even think you could count them, bro. At this point,
yeah, you really can't.
Yeah, they just too good together, bro. Like I hate to be cliche, but like peanut butter and jelly. I can't really think of a better time.
Jordan and Pimpin'.
Like straight up, bro.
Jordan
You said what?
Pimpin', yeah, Jordan and Pimpin'.
Jordan and Pimpin', straight up, bro. Like they are incredible together, bro. They complement each other so well. I really hope we do get around to a watch the throne too. Like that would be would be absolutely incredible.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. But yeah, man, genius. Let's get into this documentary.
Let's do it.
What was your first initial thoughts when it came on when you saw it? I'll let you go first.
Man, okay, so first off, it's a lot to unpack, but I would say the biggest thing that I liked about that is, one, as quote unquote regular people, right? We have this idea of like how people get famous. We don't really get to see the grind. Like we just see the glow up. We see the end part of when they've made it and when they're successful. So for me, seeing a black man being able to grind as hard as he did, it was really inspiring to like kind of perfect your craft no matter what it is, and like what true hard work real like looks like. Like this man say he ran like 20 blocks to go work with somebody because he didn't have a car. Like, bro, that's incredible. Like 20 blocks, 20 New York blocks. Yeah. So for me, it was just powerful. You know, I never really got to see Donda West in that light, and I think like the biggest thing for me, we kind of talked about it before, is like seeing his mom and seeing how much she was able to ground him, and seeing how much Kanye really was inspired by his mother. So I think that was my biggest takeaways on that first episode.
Yeah, definitely. I always like to say, I know a lot of very, very talented people, and they typically don't work very hard. They kind of let their talent speak for themselves. And we know Kanye West is probably one of the most talented individuals musically to walk this face of this planet, and to see him not give up. And because I think the documentary started off, he was like 18 or 19 years old. You see him, and he was already working with Harlem World. You know what I mean? Yeah. So to see him not give up and continue to push through was extremely inspiring. As somebody as talented as he is, I think we definitely a lot of people I know who are extremely talented, they definitely need to get out of that realm of like, hey, you did something really good one time, people clap for you, and you running around acting like you made Thriller. Like you gotta put your ego to the side sometimes and just keep doing the work. That's sort of what we've been doing over here, because this ain't easy to get up here, sit up here and talk for an hour every episode. But yeah, like you definitely got to push that. But that was definitely one of my biggest takeaways about it, and being humble in the process. Something his mama said to him was that a giant looks in the mirror and never sees a giant.
Like a giant looks in the mirror and sees nothing.
It sees nothing.
But everybody else sees a giant.
Yeah. That was incredibly profound, because basically she was saying like remain humble. Like you good, you big. Like just continue to just be big and let everybody else observe. That was pretty much what I took away from it. And I thought that was extremely, extremely profound. And it also goes to show you how. Like I said, one of my biggest takeaways was his relationship with his mom in that episode. Because like I said, I'd never seen her in that light either, and I've been a Kanye West fan since 2000. Like I said, I knew all the early beats he did on Blueprint, so that was around 2001 time frame. His first album didn't drop until 2004. I had the demo for that album, so I used to play that. I fell in love with those demo tracks before he had all the features on there. When he still had Lauryn Hill on the All Falls Down. So when I first heard the master version on College Dropout with Selena Johnson, I wasn't even feeling that like that. But to see,
I think that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that was most people's reaction too, because Lauryn Hill, she's a magnificent talent herself. So like that sample added everything to that track.
Yeah, 100%. It was I think Selena, she captured everything, and she got busy on that track, and now I can definitely appreciate it all these years later, especially knowing how music is constructed. Because I was like, why did he take Lauryn Hill off? When I was younger, I didn't really understand the concept of samples and having to clear samples and nothing like that.
Right.
But I was just disappointed because it wasn't what I heard initially. They call it demoitis, when you hear a song one way, when like a snippet or something, and then stuff get changed out of it. But yeah. I've been a fan ever since College Dropout. So to just see this journey,
amazing.
and the very first video I ever seen of his was Through the Wire. And what's the cameraman, the guy who's following around documenting everything? Cootie.
Yeah.
And I definitely seen that MTV You Here first, because I used to watch MTV hardcore back then.
I can see that.
You never saw it before?
No, I said I could see that with how much you love music and everything like that.
Yeah, and this was back when music television was actually music television, and they had programming, and they used to have MTV After Dark. It would come on at like, I think, it was after midnight, and it would stay on until 6 o'clock in the morning back then, and that was how I discovered Eminem. I would see him on MTV, MTV After Dark all the time. Same thing with Kanye. I would see him on MTV After Dark. They would play The Real Slim Shady on there, and then I was like an avid Vibe reader back in the day, and I got a Vibe, and it had Unsigned Hype, and they had Eminem on there. And they was talking about Dr. Dre signing them, and I went to school telling everybody Dre got this cold white boy, like everybody. They was like, man, that dude that got that song on MTV. Everybody was like, man, that dude whack, blah blah. I was like, nah, man, I'm telling you, dude gonna be crazy, right? And now look where we at.
Exactly. We looking at Eminem as like one of the goats too.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to hit on too that you talked about is like Kanye work ethic and like people just doing things once.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of times this dude got told no in this documentary, that would have broke most people. Most people would have been like, I'm done. Like, what else? I'm gonna stay in my lane. Like, I'm gonna just produce because that's what I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody really saw him as a rapper. He was really trying to break into that. So that's another thing that I really like too, that you brought up as far as that work ethic and not just doing things once, thinking you got a masterpiece and like, oh, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm. It's a saying. I'm gonna know I'm gonna misquote it. I always misquote stuff. But it's about a no is just an opportunity to improve. You know what I mean? And come back.
Yeah, absolutely.
With it. So I think he definitely embodied that in the show, because like you said, he got told no at every juncture.
Every juncture.
Yeah, they was like, you just gonna be a producer rapper. You just gonna do X, Y, and Z. And go ahead.
That goes to show too, like, my bad. Like, one of my favorite quotes is like, first they laugh and then they follow.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally what it was. Like, you look where he started versus where he's at now. Kanye in the news every day. Everybody talking about Kanye every single day.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, in the documentary, show him getting told no early. But you see, he's gotten told no with every time he tried to reinvent himself. He got told no in the fashion industry. He got told no by Nike when he wanted to deal with Nike, and they just wanted to keep giving him licensing. And he created the Yeezy, the Red October, which was one of the most coveted sneakers of all time. And and Nike wouldn't even tell him when they was releasing them. And so he was like, well, if y'all want to give me this, no equity, and y'all don't want to give me no deal, I'm going to take it over to Adidas. And he did that. Then he started doing the clothes. People telling him, you can't do clothes. How about you start with T-shirts? And that was how we got that legendary "You Ain't Got the Answer" Sway.
You ain't got the answer, Sway.
I've been doing this long.
He was right. Sway didn't have the answers.
Yeah. I've been doing this longer than you, Sway. You ain't got the answers. But that was a legendary interview, by the way. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's just so much to take away. When another thing is his love for that city.
Yeah, nah, for real. Like, he was really trying to put Chicago on, and there was a lot of hating going on. I feel like that's what every hometown, like, you try to do something and the people around you don't see what you're trying to work on, or they don't see the end vision, and it's like, I'm the only person that could believe in me. And Kanye had that mentality that entire time. He was like, even though they dissing me, they hating on me, they ain't even spelling my name right at the venue, they're not acknowledging me, I'm gonna still go hard for Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And one of my biggest takeaways is just like the jealousy. Like, these is his peers and his OGs that he was around, and they came out with a whole diss track on him because they felt like he didn't give them enough praise in the interview, and the part where he actually praised them in the interview actually was edited out by the publisher. And so they released a whole diss track, and I'm like, you saying this about this and you ain't never mentioned me? It's just crazy how people want that notoriety, or they don't even really understand the business side of things and how things get edited. I remember when Ludacris went on Oprah, And he talked about it on his album. He's like, I forget Oprah for editing out the parts of my show because Oprah ain't never really fucked with hip hop. And I think Ludacris was one of the first rappers. Jay-Z was an early rapper that she interviewed, and she embraced Jay-Z because he was Jay-Z at the time, man. He kind of was moving over into like was it venture capitalism, and Ludacris, but he was just a rapper, and she didn't really rock with him at all. Like I said, she edited a lot of his comments off her show. So to see this happen to Kanye and people just go crazy on him, it explains a lot about his personality.
A lot about his personality. And he's because when you see how much he basically got shitted on, man, with all the great work he was doing, that's why he don't rock with nobody now.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I won't say he won't rock with nobody because Kanye West has been extremely loyal to people that put him on. He's always bigged up Bones Def and Quali because they pretty much taught him how to rap. Common, same vein. Look, Common being on Good Music and all the opportunities given Common because Common really didn't hit his stride until the album B. Like everybody knew who Common was. He was a well respected, high level performing MC, but he didn't really get into that legendary faction until that album B came out. Which was executive produced by Kanye. So he's always stayed loyal. And Dame Dash signed him, and he's been loyal to him with Dame Dash. All his financial issues he's been going through over the years, and Kanye West stayed loyal to him as well. And he's always kept him in the picture, even when people was blackballing Dame, and Dame was out here looking crazy.
I did see an interview recently where Dame was like, Kanye is the only one who ever like really paid me my proper respects, like always like looked out for me and stuff like that. So yeah, he definitely stays loyal to his people in our remarks, and sometimes even to a fault, like as we see in the documentary. But when I say not mess with nobody, I mean more so the media because of how they try to control the narrative. Speaks and stuff like that. Because you can see it happen early on when he got dissed because they left out certain parts of stuff like that, and it's there's always a narrative change when it's dealing with Kanye and the media, especially with this Kim Kardashian situation and everything going on right now.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time when we deal with a community where they're not even aware where they're getting their news from. They're not aware that it's coming from a publicist. And Kanye West just decided to get rid of his publicist, and I'm just gonna do everything myself. I'm not gonna let nobody else speak for me. And he's spastic and in a sense. So we getting to see it all displayed. A lot of people aren't happy about what Kanye West is doing. I definitely understand the attacks on his family.
Yeah.
But as far as controlling the narrative and not letting nobody else take paint pictures, I like what he's doing. I'm not a huge fan of him attacking Pete Davidson because it comes across looking very simpish. You know what I mean? But as far as
I gotta stop. That's out of pocket right there. The whole Pete Davidson thing, and with Kanye's mind, I feel like Kanye feels like he's completely justified with what he's doing with Pete Davidson because of what Pete Davidson did on SNL. Like he felt like he got attacked publicly, so Kanye felt he's perfectly in his right to do that. And again, we don't know the conversations that was on the back end, but I definitely think that's a little bit left field, especially when you dealing with that type of situation. It's pretty sensitive because Kim could go to a court and be like, hey, well, he did this, this, and this. This is a danger to our family. They can use that against him.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But before we digress too much, let's get back. But okay, so we're usually off. We're dude dissed him in a documentary. But then one thing that I can really commend him about is like these is quote unquote like street dudes, and we definitely seen Kanye West approach this dude and talk to him about it. Like, fam, I didn't like the way you dissed me. He did it right after the dude dissed him. He found him on the street and came and hollered at him like, bro, like. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna have like what was up with that? You know what I'm saying? He ain't wait. He ain't go behind dude back. He ain't go no interviewing this dude. None of that. He just went straight up to the dude and hollered at him. And you heard the dudes in the background was like, man, what do you say? What dudes in the background saying? They was like, man, if somebody ever came at me like that, I handle it completely different. And Kanye West starts off by saying like, man, I'm not like I'm the bridge between the streets and the conscious folks. You know what I mean? So I'm not coming at nobody sideways like that. And I would definitely respect that because that was a very commendable way to handle something.
Yeah, very commendable because he was even saying he was like, what you gonna hold that against me because I didn't kill nobody? You know what I'm saying? It was that mentality back then, but he always knew he was that kind of bridge. Like, and even when he was talking to one of the A&Rs, he was like, bro, your talent, your fashion, your music, you could connect with you can connect with the streets, you can connect with this section of fashion, and like so on and so forth. But yeah, like I like that part too. He handled that respectfully. Like he handled that as a man, and he was very young at that time. Most people wouldn't have did that well, and you could tell it kind of hurt him too, how he was looking when he was having that conversation. So it was just crazy.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. Yeah, you can see the hurt in his eyes because all the stuff he did trying to put Chicago on. Because even early in his day, like him doing beats for Twisters, Common, all them, Consequence, Rhyme Fest, all these Chicago artists, man. It was you could tell, like I said, his love was there. His heart was always in the right place. But yeah, he definitely was hurt when he approached the old boy. You know, one thing I definitely thought was incredible too was to see all these people who are like hip hop legends, like No ID, Rhyme Fest. Man, I can go on and on and on. Who were in the beginning of their career, who were young. You know what I'm saying? Like No ID just did 444 for Jay-Z, like probably one of the best produced albums in the last few years. You know what I mean? And seeing them all young, Bill Bellamy, Mace, super young Mace.
Man, I was like, "That's Mason."
Yeah. Well, that's how I remember. That's how I remember him looking. But I get your sentiment. Man, God, I can go on and on because there's so many people that we get to see early on in their career. A young Memphis Bleak, a fat Scarface. Scarface ain't even fat no more. Golly, I just go on and on and on. But it was it's dope that they got this footage. You know what I'm saying? Like that somebody that Cootie was his name, Cootie, right? Cootie? Yeah, he had the wherewithal to follow Kanye West around the documentary because he knew it was gonna be something great.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, that's the type of people you need around you. And I always talk about like lateral networking. Like you don't always got to like network with the people around you. Y'all gonna grow together and pull each other up, and that's kind of what happened with Kanye, Cootie, and the circle of guys that we recognize as hip hop legends now. You know, they was just in the beginning of their careers.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's been seen to be a common sentiment around here because Kendall said something about horizontal leadership last week on our episode. I like that term. Is that something that they teach y'all in corporate America?
You know what? I don't Probably know where I got it from, bro. I just be over here thinking, but I'm pretty sure I've heard it somewhere before. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I just can't remember. Yeah. One thing I also wanted to talk about too is how many people gonna eat off this documentary as far as people going back to listen to Kanye's old stuff. Spotify finna get a jump, Apple Music, like all these streaming, like Kanye and these what do you call them, publishing companies or streaming companies, they're about to eat right now.
Yeah,
off
definitely.
Of this documentary.
Yeah. Man, yeah, this shit is definitely good. One of my favorite documentaries. I don't know if do you know if he ever ended up getting the creative control that he was asking for over it?
I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see if he actually did, because they actually the credit after the credits they have creative control, the companies that were responsible for it, and Time, like as in the magazine, they show up at the end of the credits. So I don't know who was actually and like was in the editing control. I'm pretty sure Kanye West had something to do with it.
He probably do, knowing him, because he, like they said in the documentary, he always pulling a rabbit out the hat, so he probably figured something out.
And I definitely think it was perfect timing as well, because I don't think this documentary could have came out with any of the other projects Kanye released since The Life of Pablo. I think this coming out post Donda was incredible timing.
Yeah, 100%. Like, how long y'all been sitting on this? Like, when did you decide, all right, now's the time to like do this? And like, again, that just goes to the genius of Kanye and the people around him, and how they move. Like, that's calculated. That's calculated. Like, this was the perfect time.
Yeah, definitely 100%. It kind of remind me of the Last Dance documentary coming out after LeBron got his 4th ring. Yeah, Jordan was like, you know what? Press the button. It's time to go.
Right, because they had that forever. Jordan was like, hell no.
Let me find out Chicago niggas is super petty.
It seems like it.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, okay, now I done lost my train of thought now because okay, we done got past the young people in the doc. Oh fuck. Because I think it ended up with him at his mama crib, right?
Yeah, it ended off with at him at his mama crib. Then shortly after that, Jermaine finally decided to sign him. And then it just kind of like sectioned off of there. So I think the next part is going to be showing him blowing up in the 2000s.
Yeah, they had an hour and 30 minutes worth of footage. What we saw, I'm pretty sure it was what we saw
yeah.
For the first episode, and he just got signed. He just got the Rockefeller chain at the end of the documentary.
They was in New York for like 2 years, I think, before he got signed.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And he was already doing beats from Chicago to New York, and then he moved to New York to be in the mix, and then was out there hustling even more. What? Oh, you know what part another part I thought was dope as hell was
What's that?
When his mother saw his chain, and she said, and she said, what did his mother say? She said, I'm glad you got this, because at first I was a little mad because I felt like you got another piece of jewelry before you got a house. And she was like, well, I'm glad you got it because you needed an angel to watch over you.
Yeah, man.
Like, she didn't even admonish him. She didn't really judge her son. One thing about that relationship that's that was super fly was the fact that she 100% supported him. I don't know if this is for the camera or whatever, but like, and not at one time did we really see her admonish him. She just continued to pour into him. That shit is incredible, man. Like, I wish it was more parents out here like that knew to nurture their kids' gift and to pour into them that way.
Yeah, because most parents, they're probably been, why are you buying this? You should have bought a house. Like, kind of make you feel like you stupid or you made a bad decision. But whatever feedback she gave, it again kind of solidified her support for Kanye and what she really thought about his dreams and what he was doing and everything like that. And that guardian angel piece, I ain't gonna lie, that almost got me. I'm like, dang, Donna West was a hell of a woman, man.
100%. Dang, what was I about to say about the Jesus piece? And her point. Oh, because she was she was the one that bought him his first music equipment for him to learn how to produce songs, and she put him in contact with No ID. And I can't remember the dude name that dissed him that we were talking about early. It escapes me. I should have looked it up before the show. But she was solely responsible for putting him in a position to even learn how to produce music. If she'd have never did that, we never knew who Kanye West was.
Right, exactly. At 14, like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Lisa, you about to get red for texting me too in the middle of a show talking about, are y'all live right now? Don't it say live on the screen?
She texted me the same thing.
Yeah, you about to get thoroughly red, fam. Like, for interrupting the show. We're gonna put you on blast. We're gonna put you on that summer side. Everybody in the chat, rib Lisa right now, please. For texting me in the middle of the show, man. Y'all lucky I'm good at what I do. I'll be over here producing, giving y'all content, talking and everything, man. And y'all be doing all this in the middle of my show, man. Go ahead and get ribbed one time. And this is gonna live forever. So your grandkids gonna know you got ribbed.
Hey, now you sounded like Kanye West, though.
Yeah, just gotta let them know, man. But yeah, phenomenal documentary, man. Definitely check it out. I think the next episode come out, was it February 28th?
23rd, I think.
23rd. And then the last episode is in March. Phenomenal series, man. Definitely check that out.